Welcome back to week 3 of my The Bachelor commentary. This week we got further in the process. We moved up to more dates, more fun things to talk about, even more lore for the show. So let's get to it. So for our first group date, we had the Bachelor School of Finance. So Grant talks about how after basketball ended, he dove into the world of finance. He trades markets as his daily job, and he loves finance. And so he thought it would be a cool idea to test the knowledge of the women's finance. So he brought along some guests. Daniel Lubetsky, owner of Kind Snacks and Shark Tank host, as well as Hannah Berner, comedian and podcaster, come to help judge this Bachelor School of Finance class that Grant has put on for the girls. And basically they're asking them interesting questions about finance, like when's the last time their credit card declined? How much do you want a man to spend on your wedding ring? Different things like that. And so Bailey's picking up on how Grant isn't the person giving the Grant bucks, but Hannah and Daniel are. Because Hannah's a comedian, she kind of likes the funny answers, not like the direct answers. And Bailey is starting to pick up on that, and her whole goal is to get more time with Grant. So Bailey's saying things that aren't necessarily the correct answer, but she knows Hannah's gonna like them, so she knows she'll get the most Grant bucks for them. And Bailey ends up winning the date, so she gets some extra time with Grant. Later on at the after party, everyone is talking about how much fun they have with today's date, and Zoe seems to be the only one upset. She's mad because she said it fell out of her element. It wasn't really about finance, I guess because Hannah, the comedian, was there, so it wasn't strictly about finance. It gave it a little funny twist. And she starts to say that Grant didn't even look at her. She didn't get nearly as much time as she did with him last time. That really upset her, and she starts to cry. And I'm just like, what? You got so much time with him last week that other people didn't get. So why are we crying? And I guess Serafina and Ali Joe feel the same exact way I do because they're not moved by her tears. They are saying how she took up time for Grant's last group date and they don't get the waterworks. I rode for Zoe at first last episode because everyone was attacking her, and they always love to attack the person that's bold and makes time. And now I think I'm starting to not like Zoe more because it's just like, how can you sit there and cry about you not getting nearly as much time with Grant as you did last group date when there are girls who didn't even get the amount of time you got last group date, and still they didn't win like Bailey did, so they won't get extra time now. Everyone is competing for Grant's time. That is just the name of the game. So to sit there and to cry about it, you're doing the most. Everyone's having a good time, Zoe. Why do we have to bring down the mood? Everybody's so happy. My goodness. So a waiter comes and brings Bailey a menu of things that she can get with her 8,000 Grant bucks that she won.
Oh my God. Older. Open it. Oh, wow. Come on. Okay, so I can get a champagne toast with Grant for 1,000 Grant bucks. Private dance with Grant for 5,000 Grant bucks. One of Grant's t-shirts to sleep in for 8,000 Grant bucks. And a trip to Paris with Grant for 3 million.
Personally, I would have asked for the private dance. I would have asked Grant for the private dance. Like, let me see what you got. And I would feel like that would be just like more memorable, more fun. Bailey cashes in on the t-shirt from Grant and dessert. They end up giving each other cupcakes and laughing together, and then Grant gives her one of his white t-shirts so she can sleep in it. In an attempt to stand out more this episode, Parisa took the opportunity to sit next to Grant during the finance class, and then at the after party, she wanted to play Chubby Bunny with him. So they do Chubby Bunny with Rice Krispie treats, which I've never seen done before. That's gotta be much harder than marshmallows. But they do Chubby Bunny together. Grant is cracking up the whole time. Parisa is cracking up. She says that her goal was really to show Grant that she can have fun, she can be lighthearted, and Grant talks about how much he loved that. That's the hardest he's laughed this entire time. So good on Parisa for trying to stand out this time. I think that was a super cute idea. The girls are discussing what just happened with Zoe breaking down. Serafina talks about how short Zoe's dress is, and it was kind of loud, so Zoe definitely heard it. That comment was unnecessary. That brings Zoe to get upset and talk about how rude that comment was. Sure, Zoe's dress might have been short, but everyone's dress is short. Everyone's trying to look cute. Everyone's trying to show a little leg, be a little sexy. So it's just like, it was unnecessary to say that. So Zoe goes to talk to Grant about what's unfolded this evening, right? And Grant talks about how she's just being herself. He doesn't want her to feel like she needs to shield herself. If anyone's talking about you, let me know. Who is it? You know, Grant's like about it, like he's about to do something, but then Zoe doesn't give the name. And I don't get it. Why do they do that? Like, these girls on the show will have an issue with somebody, and then when the Bachelor or the Bachelorette wants to do something about the person who did something to who they're talking to, when it comes to a name, they don't want to give them a name. Maybe because Zoe wants to protect connections with people, but unfortunately it doesn't seem like she has any connections with anyone in the home. I mean, Zoe's the one who wants them so bad. I don't get why she's protecting her. Grant says some really nice words to Zoe, saying like, you shouldn't let other people stop you from being yourself. And, you know, if people have a problem with you being yourself, who cares type thing. And that was just like, I don't know, like so far, Grant's always known like exactly what to say in these scenarios. I feel like every time a girl like Carolina or Zoe like are upset about something other girls are saying in the house, he's just always got a good response that takes the girl from being on the verge of being about to leave to being like, okay, maybe staying for him is worth it. Grant also gives her a kiss, which of course makes her feel good, and Zoe heads on out. Parisa ends up getting the group date rose, which, well deserved. I mean, she and Grant had a ball together. Grant talks about how, you know, in real life, he wants to be able to laugh with a partner, and he can totally do that with Parisa. And so I'm really happy for her because she hasn't gotten much shine since the show started. Grant addresses the fact that Zoe mentioned that people are being belittled in the house, people are feeling uncomfortable, but he doesn't mention that Zoe said this. And so he just reiterates that he wants all the girls to be kind to each other. And everyone is trying to figure out,
Who said that? Who said that?
who the heck said that and who's belittling whom, because they don't feel like much belittling is going on. Zoe's just like, as if it couldn't be more obvious. Juliana is like, why are we playing? Let's wrap this up. Zoe, what's up? Zoe, I know it was you. Zoe, what'd you say? Why'd you say it? The only one who could have said that they felt belittled is Zoe. Zoe goes, you guys did exactly what I expected you to. What are you talking about? What do you mean they did exactly what you expected them to do? They solved the mystery of who said it? It was obvious, Zoe. It wasn't that hard to figure out. What are you talking about, bruh? Litia talks about how it's been a long day. Can we just sleep on this, regroup, have a conversation tomorrow? Zoe goes, there's no regrouping. You guys are so mean. Serafina made one unnecessary comment to you. To call her mean, That doesn't change the whole person she is. She just made one snide remark. It doesn't mean she's mean. The next day, everyone is crying, okay? Everyone is upset that Grant was upset. Alex is in hysterics because she's talking about how hard she tries to be Zoe's friend, and she asks Zoe questions, but Zoe doesn't care to ask any questions, and she's just tried so hard to bond with her because she feels bad for her, but it's just not working out. Meanwhile, Grant and Carolina are taking a private jet to Las Vegas for their one-on-one. What the heck? This has got to be like the best one-on-one ever. They usually be doing that like helicopter over the city type one-on-one date, which I'm sure it's nice, but it's just so repetitive because it happens every Bachelor Bachelorette season. But a private jet to Vegas? They head on to the Las Vegas Strip and end up going to the Stratosphere, which is 800 feet in the air, and they jump off of it, not once, but twice! It didn't even look like they were gonna get caught. Like, it didn't look like they were gonna stop. What are the questions they ask you when you sign up to be on that show to figure out if it's a date you would be okay with? Because I tell y'all right now, y'all put me on that date, I'm not jumping. During the one-on-one date, Grant asks Carolina if she feels ready for marriage, and then she goes on to say how she admires him, talking about his dad and the loyalty that she can see that he has for his family, and how she needs loyalty like that because she hasn't had loyalty from her own friends and romantic partners, specifically when it comes to her epilepsy. She phrases it saying she has a disability that people can't see. She started getting tremors when she was around 12 or 13. She had a seizure at school one day, was mortified, and ever since then, it's just been a part of her life. Now she controls it with medication, but sometimes people try to put limits on her as far as questioning if they should invite her out somewhere because they know that she might have a seizure. And she doesn't want Grant to feel limited in his life, and she wants to just lay it all out on the table so she can see if he truly is going to be able to handle all that she comes with. Grant reassures her that she deserves someone who's going to be there for her, and he's willing to be there for her if he is her partner in the long run. Grant expresses that he's starting to develop feelings for Carolina, which is a big deal. I think that's the first time he's said that to anyone this season. Grant gives her the individual date rose so that she's safe from elimination this week, and they share a couple kisses right in front of the beautiful Las Vegas Strip view. This next date was supposed to be a individual date with Beverly, but unfortunately Beverly got sick and has decided to leave for the season at this point. So Grant switched things around and made it a mini group date with Litia, Serafina, and Dina. They go to Vanderpump Dogs in Los Angeles. Lisa Vanderpump is the owner of the salon. She thanks the girls for coming in to volunteer that day, and they end up walking dogs, washing dogs, and just getting to hang out with Grant in these different activities. Dina and Grant take some time to wash the dogs together. They talk about, how they are with dogs. Dina says that she would love a dog, but she has a condo, she would feel bad. And Grant says, well, I have my house, we can have the dog there. And they just start, talking about that kind of stuff. I didn't really know too much about Dina outside of her being an attorney, so I appreciate that we got to see this side of Dina. So later on, Grant and Serafina walk a dog together, and they're talking about how Grant feels that she's slowly opening up and things like that. Y'all, I can't even focus on the conversation because there is such a lack of chemistry there. I mean, is anybody else seeing what I'm seeing? She was walking down the street like she was talking to her brother. I don't see no type of connection. She says she likes Grant a lot. I couldn't tell. She's not acting like it. The body language was just so stiff and like she was uncomfortable being around him, and I don't think she's gonna last very long, y'all. I couldn't tell she liked him. Litia and Grant sit on the sidewalk and talk, and instantly, drastic change. They're hand in hand interlocked. Y'all, this, to me, this is serious. They interlocked it. Y'all, that is a big deal. That's palm sweat to palm sweat. Grant's got the hand on the hip, just chilling there. Comfortability, okay? He did not have that with Serafina. Like I said again, Litia is making it far, y'all. Litia and Juliana are my front runners. Instant dynamic change. Like, Serafina is just gonna be that person who fades into the background, and then you look up one day and you're a week from hometowns and you're like, dang, well, don't know enough about her, so she gotta go home. You know, that's exactly what's gonna happen if she doesn't go home tonight. During their conversation, Litia just talks about how it's crazy that her feelings have developed for Grant so quickly, and how she thinks he's so cute. Grant's like, I am very attracted to you. Grant chooses to have dinner later in the evening with just Litia. On the one-on-one, Grant begins discussing his family life because Litia wants to know more about it. And he mentions that his dad used to tell him things that weren't true about his mom, and so I guess Grant thought maybe his mom was kind of in the wrong with things earlier in his life, but then he noticed his dad had an addiction, and really his mom is the one who was holding down the fort. His mom was being strong for everybody, holding down the family, and his mom is not the most affectionate or as affectionate as Grant wishes she was, but she showed her love to him through actions, and Grant has a lot of love to give, and he looks forward to the days where he can come home to a kiss and a hug, and then Litia kisses him. Oh my gosh, so cute. And he starts, crying about how much he's excited for that time in his life. So when it's Litia's turn to share about her family, she talks about how her mom's from Idaho, her dad's from Fiji. They met in college. They had her, and when she was 3 months old, her dad passed away. Her mom has been an incredible source of strength and resilience that she has learned from. Her aunts and uncles have always made her feel loved, and it's so hard for her to be away from her support system because she just loves her family so much. And Grant surprises her by letting her FaceTime her mom. Like, oh my gosh. Grant met her mom over FaceTime. That means they're definitely getting a hometown, right? Like, he already met the mom. Yo, that is so cute. I'm telling you right now, I think that's the winner. Is it too soon to call? We're only 3 episodes in, but imagine if you're on that show and you heard that another girl's mom has already met the Bachelor. At that point, I'm gonna stop competing because you already know you already met your future mother-in-law. There's no need for me to even be here anymore. They're just so cute. Litia is my favorite this season. Please check on me if she gets sent home. I'm gonna be in shambles. Grant tells Litia that he's starting to develop feelings for her too. Okay. The second time he's said that to somebody, he gives her the rose so that she is safe from elimination this week. I'm already excited for their proposal. They share a few kisses, go outside, and dance to the string orchestra that is playing music for them, and it's just like a fairy tale kind of night. Let's come up with a name. Litia Grant. Litia? Gratia? I guess it's gonna be Team Gratia! This is a G. And this is like an L. What if I make... What if I do it like this? Because then it kind of looks like a G, but then it's also like an L. Like, you know how G's curve like this, like lowercase g's, but then it's an L? Team Gratia! Yeah! 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 Team Gratia! Team Gratia! Later on, Carolina is highly upset because Rose told her that Grant said during the R&B date when they were dancing at the end that Grant was thinking about Rose while he was dancing with Carolina. And this is driving Carolina insane. I mean, as it would anybody. But the first thing I'm thinking of is that doesn't even sound like something Grant would say. Rose is lying. Okay, so tonight they are having a prom. Grant talks about how he didn't have any relationships in high school, really, because he prioritized basketball, and so he didn't get to go to prom. So tonight, at 30 years old, he is going to prom with 3 million women. Everyone's putting on their best fits to go to prom tonight. The special guests are some men from the Golden Bachelorette. It is so nice to see them again. I do watch the Golden Bachelorette and the Golden Bachelorette. If y'all haven't watched it, it is such an adorable show. Please give it a chance. It's so cute. There's pictures, there's dancing, people are playing with the props. The Golden Bachelorette guys are cooking steaks and talking to the girls. It looks like everyone is having a great time. It looks like such a fun prom. And so Dina wants to do something special for Grant. Since Grant asked them all to prom, Dina wants to go and ask Grant to prom, so she has this little promposal. Grant admires how Dina is super success driven and says that he hasn't really been with anyone like that. And he asks about getting back to normal life. She talks about how, you know, she works hard, but she plays hard too, and she has a great job and she has the ability to travel. So, you know, adjusting back to normal life with Grant wouldn't be a hard task for her to take on. Alex and Grant later play the superlative game where they draw little superlatives out, and between the two of them, they discuss who would get that superlative. So like best smile or most likely to fall in love with someone or different things like that. And I just love how the girls are like really running with the high school prom theme. It's so cute. And then later on, him and Zoe have a slow dance. Rose is in trouble! Rose is in trouble! Carolina goes to Grant and brings up the fact that Rose told her that he was thinking about her while dancing with Carolina. Grant doesn't automatically know who it is, so he's sitting there trying to deduce who it is. And he ends up figuring out that it's Rose, but he's talking about how that is a lie. He didn't do anything like that. Why would he do that? He's there to find a wife. He's not trying to spit game. She wouldn't just outright say that it was Rose. He had to piece it together. Like, do y'all want these girls to get sent home so you can get a Rose or not? He pulls Rose and says, hey, Rose, we need to talk. And then he just straight up asks her, did you tell Carolina I was thinking about you while I was dancing with her? And she swears up and down that he said that. She swears. And he's like, why would I do that? And Grant is pissed. Grant is so angry. Pack your bags. Get rid of her, Grant! Get rid of her. Like, why do you need to stay? And you probably messed up your trust with Grant. He might not want you around anymore. I wouldn't want you around anymore. It's time. You're going home tonight. As I'm sitting here editing, look what I found. The receipts.
Right? You know, the whole dancing thing on stage and everything. I was thinking about you. I don't want you to feel like I'm not paying attention because I am. Right? You know, the whole dancing thing on stage and everything. I was thinking about you. I don't want you to feel like I'm not paying attention because I am. Right?
Yo,
you know, the whole.
Did say it. He did say it. Oh my God. He said, you know, the whole dancing thing on stage and everything. I was thinking about you. I'm going to put emphasis on everything. I think if he specifically said while I was dancing on stage, I was thinking about you. But he said everything. Like this person said, Rose didn't know the moment he was referring to and only said what was said to her. I think she just took that one moment with him and Carolina dancing, attached it to that, when I think Grant was just talking about throughout the day, I was thinking about you. So maybe it's not as bad, but she shouldn't have said anything. This rose ceremony, Bailey, Allie Jo, and Chloe end up going home, sadly. And I was surprised. I could have sworn Rose was getting sent home. Grant looked like he was done with her. So for sure, I thought Rose was going home. And you know who else I thought it was going home? Serafina. That chemistry is as moist as sandpaper. No sparks. Dull. Water all over the fire. No wood chips. No charcoal. No lighter fluid. Dull, gray, London sky on a cloudy day. Not a regular London day, a cloudy one. That dull. But anyways, that was this week's episode. Next week, we are off on our first stop on the world tour. They are going to Spain. I can't wait to see the one-on-ones and the group dates that come out of this as they explore the world together, and the best is yet to come. Thank you so much for tuning into this week. I will see you next week. Remember, wear your seatbelt.